Okay, so kinematics, what we're going to start off with first are some definitions. So displacement, first of all, distance moved by an object in a particular direction. Next up is instantaneous speed, the speed at the precise instant that it is measured. So like on a graph, for example, on a distance time graph, that would be the tangent at a particular point. That would be the instantaneous speed. So that shouldn't be confused with the average speed, which is the rate of change of distance. So we can write that as an equation. Speed is equal to distance over time. Speed is measured in meters per second. Distance is measured in meters, and time is measured in seconds. So next up, we got velocity, which is the rate of change in displacement. Displacement is different to distance. It's the vector form of distance. So it's distance in a particular direction. So for that one, it'll be very similar. You just write instead the velocity is equal to displacement over time this time. So that'll be again meters per second for velocity, meters for displacement, and seconds for time. Next up, acceleration. The definition for acceleration is the rate of change in velocity. So we can write an equation for that, which is acceleration is equal to the change in velocity over time. So change in velocity, again, is measured in meters per second. Time is measured in seconds. Acceleration is measured in meters per second squared. So what we're going to look at now are equations for acceleration. So all the equations for linear motion with constant acceleration, also known as the SUVAT equations. Each letter in SUVAT represents something different. So S is displacement in meters, U is initial velocity in meters per second, V is final velocity in meters per second, A is acceleration in meters per second squared, and T is time in seconds. So these are the four SUVAT equations that you're given in your formula booklets. One that's not given that's also useful is that one. So this one's not given, but sometimes it's useful for some calculations. So when you get a question, you usually are given three of the SUVAT values and you're asked to work out one of the other ones. If you don't know three, then it's not possible to use these equations. So let's look at a few examples. Okay, so a car is traveling in a straight line with a constant acceleration and its velocity changes from 6 meters per second to 15 meters per second in 2 seconds. Calculate the acceleration. So let's start off by writing SUVAT vertically like this. And we'll note down the values that we do know. So we know it's going from 6 to 15, so the initial velocity is 6, final velocity is 15, and it's doing that in 2 seconds. We want to work out the acceleration, so we need to find an equation with u, v, a, and t all in it. So if you look up at the equations that we've got, u, v, a, and t, that would be the first equation here. So that's the equation we need to use. V is equal to u plus a times t. Rearrange that to make a the subject, so a is equal to v minus u over t when you rearrange that. So that's 15 minus 6 divided by 2. Put that in your calculator, you should get 4.5 meters per second squared. Second part of that question, calculate the displacement. Again, do the same thing. So 6, 15, 2, but this time we want to work out the displacement. So we want an equation with S, U, V, and T in it. So that's going to be the second equation. So you can do 6 plus 15 divided by 2 times by 2. Give you 21 meters. So now let's look at what happens when you have gravity involved in your calculations. So that's acceleration due to gravity. And what happens is because of the pull of gravity on Earth, all objects get pulled down towards the ground at the same acceleration. and that's 9.81 meters per second squared. Because of the gravitational attraction of the Earth, all objects fall with the same acceleration of 9.81 meters per second squared. So what that means is when we look at examples of objects falling in the downward direction, there will always be an acceleration of 9.81 meters per second squared. If you're looking at your calculations and taking the downward direction as positive, then you take it as plus 9.81 meters per second squared. But in your calculations, if you're taking the upward direction as positive, then because the acceleration due to gravity always acts downwards, this would mean it's minus 9.81 meters per second squared. So this is very important. This is something that people always get confused on, whether it's a minus 9.81 or a plus 9.81 in calculations. So it's all to do with which direction you choose to take as positive. Usually people take the upward direction as positive, but in some calculations you might choose to do it downwards. It doesn't really matter as long as you stay consistent throughout the whole question. So another thing is that the assumption that you make in all of these calculations is that air resistance is negligible. So you basically act as if there's no air resistance involved. That's the only way that these calculations work. So let's look at an example. An object is dropped at a height of 78 meters. How long does it take to hit the ground? So if an object is dropped, then you've got constant acceleration. You've got linear motion as well. So you can use SUVAT. So the things you can note down is the displacement. It's dropped at a height of 78 meters. Because it's being dropped, its starting velocity is 0. So you can take u to be 0. You don't know what the final velocity is because when it hits the ground, it could be at any velocity. That's something that we would need to calculate. But what we also know is the acceleration. Because this is in free fall, you can say that the acceleration is 9.81. We're taking this as positive. We're taking the downward direction as positive. So look for an equation which has S, U, A, and T in it. We're trying to work out the time that it takes. So the equation that you're going to use is S is equal to ut plus half at squared. So because u is 0, we can cancel out this term here because 0 times t is just 0. So then you can rearrange your equation to make it 2s divided by a would give you t squared. So we can square root all of that to give us what t would be. So that would give us 2 times 78 divided by acceleration, which is 9.81, and then square root all of that, and you should get the answer. 3.99 seconds. So let's try another example. A ball is thrown vertically upwards at 56 meters per second. Calculate the height reached by the ball. Again, this is constant acceleration, so you can use SUVAT. So this time we don't know s. We want to work out what s is, the height. So that's something we want to work out. U we've been given because it's thrown at 56 meters per second, so that's our starting value. Because it's the maximum height reached by the ball, at that point it's going to be at the top of its jump. The maximum height it's going to be at the top of its jump, and that's the point at which the ball will change direction. So when the ball is being thrown up, it changes direction at this point here. So that means the velocity at this point is going from negative to positive, so it must be at 0 at the highest point. So v you can take as 0 because we're trying to calculate this height here. Acceleration is going to be minus 9.81. The reason for this is because we're taking our initial velocity as plus 56 meters per second. Our initial velocity is going upwards. So that means we're taking the upward direction to be positive. So anything that's moving downwards or anything that acts downwards is going to be negative. So because our u is up at 56, our acceleration, remember that's towards the ground, that's going to be downwards, therefore our acceleration is going to be minus. So now we've got that, we can work out the height by using the relevant equation. We want an equation with s, u, v, and a in it. So that would be v squared is equal to u squared plus 2as. So we can rearrange that to get v squared minus u squared over 2a, which will give us 0 squared minus 56 squared divided by 2 times minus 9.81. So when you do this, the minus at the top and the minus at the bottom would cancel out. Otherwise, if you kept this as plus 9.81, you would get a negative value. And when you put that into your calculator, you should get 160 meters. Okay, let's try another example. A ball is thrown vertically upwards at a speed of 22 meters per second from the top of a building with a height of 10.2 meters. Find the maximum height reached by the ball above the ground. So let's draw a diagram to explain what's happening here. So we've got our building here. The building's height is 10.2 meters. The ball is being thrown from the top of the building. So it goes up to a certain height, then it falls down. We want the maximum height reached by the ball above the ground. So what we want is the distance from here to here. So to do that, we first need to work out the distance above the top of the building. We can use SUVAT to calculate the distance from here to here. So S is what we're trying to work out. U is 22 meters per second. That's the speed at which it's being thrown. V, it's going to be at the top of its jump, so the final velocity is going to be 0. A, again, because we're taking 22 as positive, we're taking the upward direction as positive. So that means our downward direction would be negative. So our acceleration would be minus 9.81. So we want, again, an equation with S, U, V, and A in it. So that, again, would be V squared is equal to U squared plus 2AS. So we can do 0 squared minus 22 squared divided by 2 times minus 9.81, which will give us the maximum height above the top of the building, which would be 24.7 meters. Now to work out the final answer, the maximum height above the ground, you just add that to the height of the building. So you just do 24.7 plus 10.2, which gives you 34.9 meters. So let's look at part B to this question. At what velocity does the ball hit the ground? So to find out what velocity the ball hits the ground, you can use SUVAT again. So now you know what your S is. Your S is 34.9, which we just calculated. Our U, so we're just looking at the second part of the jump now. So the second part of the motion of the ball is from the top to the ground. So the initial velocity during that motion is 0. So right at the top of its jump, it's at 0 meters per second. The final velocity is what we're trying to work out. The acceleration we're going to take as 9.81. So because we're taking this as plus 9.81, we're taking the downward direction as positive in this calculation. So the equation we're going to use has S, U, V, and A in it. So that's going to be V squared is equal to U squared plus 2AS. So your V is going to be the square root of your U squared, which is just 0, plus 2AS, which is 2 times 9.81 times by 34.9. And when you do that, you should get the answer 26.2 meters per second. Okay, so now let's look at part C to this question, which is what is the time taken from the moment the ball is thrown to the moment it hits the ground? So to do that, you can split the whole motion of the ball into 2 parts. The first part is from the moment it's thrown to the top of its jump, and the second part is from the top of its jump to the moment it hits the ground. So let's start with the first part, from the moment it's thrown to the moment it reaches the top of its jump. So just like in our part A, our distance was 22.4, initial velocity is 22, final velocity is 0, because we only look at in the first part. Remember, in the first part of the jump, it ends up at the top, so it ends up with a velocity of 0. The acceleration is minus 9.81, and we're trying to work out the time taken for this first part. So there's quite a few equations you can use, because we have 4 knowns here. Usually you only have 3. What I'm going to use is V is equal to U plus AT. So rearrange that to give you V minus U over A. So that will be 0 minus 22 divided by minus 9.81, and that will give you a time of 2.24 seconds. So this is just for the first half of the jump. Now for the second half, we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to use SUVAT again. But this time, the displacement that it moves is going to be 34.9 because that's what we calculated in our first part here. Our initial velocity is going to be 0. Our final velocity is going to be what we worked out in part B, which was 26.2. And our acceleration is going to be 9.81. We're taking the downward direction as positive here. So we can use the same equation again. V is equal to U plus AT. We can rearrange that to make it T is equal to V minus U over A. So that's going to be 26.2 minus 0 divided by 9.81, which gives us 2.67 seconds. So to find the total time, you just add this to this. So total time is equal to 2.24 plus 2.67, which gives us 4.91 seconds, which is our final answer.
For more videos like this, summary videos, worked examples and exam tips, subscribe to my channel.